For those of you who don't know, I know many of you would know our story. We've been here a year in this incredible city of Melbourne. We actually love Melbourne. We're from Adelaide, born and raised in Adelaide, but been here for a little over a year and took on the leadership here a little over a year ago and absolutely love Melbourne. We love this church. We love you and we love what God is doing here, which is amazing. And we have been, as I've mentioned, from Adelaide, but we started dating way back in 1984. In actual fact, I asked her to be my girlfriend on March 17, 1984. So we've been together for 42 years. We've been married for 34 years. We've got 3 incredible kids who are all serving Jesus, which is amazing. And so obviously this woman to my left here is not only an incredible woman, but obviously a very, very patient woman for putting up with me for 42 years. So come on, one more time, show a round of applause. And what we want to do today is really not only just talk about a few things. I've got a series of questions I want to ask Kath. But really today is just an introduction to a series we want to get into called Bless This House. We want to look at what it is to be a Christ-centered home, not just a Christian home. There's a big difference between a Christian home and a Christ-centered home. Yeah. And that's the premise of what's taking place today and what will take place over the next 3 or 4 Sundays. So everyone say, bless this house. Who wants your house to be blessed?
Yeah.
Who wants the blessing of God on your house? Who wants the blessing of God in your house?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about some of those things. And obviously, you're not looking at perfection up here, but we want to talk about our examples, our wins, our struggles, our losses, and all those kinds of things. So listen up, lean in, and hopefully today will be really, really helpful. Do you want to say a quick hello?
Hello, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there.
Is that it?
Oh, I think you said everything else.
Okay, no, that's cool. Firstly, let me just say, I think you're an incredible mum.
Oh, thank you.
You're an amazing wife and you're an incredible mum. Mum was not Kath is not the clucky type person that wants to pick up every baby in every church she visits. She's not that person by nature, but you're incredibly maternal and your mothering is exceptionally high. So I just want to say thank you for the way you've raised our 3 kids and the way you've raised many, many young women in the churches that we've been involved in. So thank you. Really do appreciate it, which is awesome. But I do have a series of questions for you. And the first one's probably a little strange, and it's this one. What made you decide to have kids?
It is a strange question. Yeah, I suppose everybody grows up with an expectation that you just expect that's what you're going to do, you know. And other than circumstances and I suppose biology, that's where we head to. And we were married for 7 years before we had kids. And you're always getting the questions, when are you having kids? When are you having kids? When are you having kids? Or people were even bold enough to say, can't you have kids? Can't you have kids? You know. And then one day a pastor we were sitting with, and he asked a question. He said, are you going to have kids? And for me, that was a game changer because, yeah, we always thought we would have kids, but you just think you're going to have kids. And to actually have that question front and centre, am I going to? And I think, in all honesty, answering that question for myself and the reasons why I feel has set me up for motherhood, because it isn't easy. It hasn't been easy. It's great and there's been challenges and different things. But answering that question to know that this was a choice I made, I came to the conclusion with God that I'm not just doing this because it's expected. It came to the fact that I thought, I'm relational. I want to do life in relationship, and what better way to do that in creating a family and having that. And also, I just loved you, and I thought the thought of having little mini Tonys would be fun. So I honestly thought I'd be a boy mum. I really did not think I would have girls, but that's a whole nother... Hence why Jordan and Bailey and Mitt.
That is a true story. When we first found out that our first child was going to be a female and not a little boy, we said, can you check again? Are you sure about that? Because we were kind of set that we were going to have 3 boys. That was kind of the way it was going to be. Yeah. And we got Jordan, but I've got to be honest with her, she's probably more of a boy than Mitchie. But anyway, he's not here to defend himself, so that's not fair. Cool. I appreciate that. Second question would be this. What is it you love about being a mum?
Oh, You know, I've loved every season of life. Like I mentioned, we were married 7 years without kids, and that was fun and whatever. But I also said how I love relationship. So I've loved the relational side of parenting and having a family. But I think what I love about motherhood is I love the person I am because I'm motherhood. I think motherhood has made me a better individual. Motherhood has made me a better wife. Motherhood has made me a better daughter and a better friend. And so if you say, what do I love about, other than I just love people and I love our family network, I just think I actually like me because of motherhood. So, yeah. There you go. I'm a better person because I'm a mum. I know.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, are you...
Your timing was not good, but anyway, thank
Oh,
you.
sorry. Am I making you warm, babes?
Yeah, you are. I'm getting hot.
Okay. And here I can continue. I can say, I think because motherhood teaches you patience, teaches you love, teaches you things that sacrifice. Some of the things that you might not have to encounter or you encounter it just takes it to a deeper level. And I think because of that, I just think I'm a better individual because of that.
Yeah,
So,
great. Let's flip that. What's the
Yep.
biggest challenge to being a mum?
oh, there's lots. One of my favourite quotes is by an author, Carolyn Mahaney, and she wrote the book, 7 Virtues of a Godly Wife and Mother. And she talks about the fact that in society, we demand all sorts of qualifications and educations for vocations of far lesser importance, but we just hand motherhood and marriage to anybody. It's like, here you go, just knock yourself out. And the fact that we have a Heavenly Father and the Bible that helps us to guide and do that. And so there's nothing that can prepare you for motherhood. You can read as many books as you want, but when you're in that, it's just all guns blazing, all barrels coming. And so there are lots of different things. And while I've said I have loved motherhood, there have been challenges. But I think the overarching, if I had to pick one, and we always play this game wherever we go, like gun to your head, pick one thing. So the gun to my head, one thing is, I think the constant worry. You worry, okay, so you first find out you're pregnant, well, you're worrying like, can I go full term? Is this baby going to be healthy? Baby comes, then you worry about things like, are they sleeping through the night? Are they okay when they're sick? I remember starting solids. Like Geordie once, I gave her, everyone was like, cut up some watermelon or something. And I think she even looked like she was going to choke. Well, I had my fingers in there, got it out. I never gave her watermelon again after that. You're just kind of worrying about things that are out of your control. As they grow, like once they're getting to that age, they're starting to drive cars. You're worrying about, what about this or what about that? Even this week, BJ's driving down to Dandenong for college and it's raining and I'm texting her, just make sure you do this, okay, text me when you get home, all that sort of, and as they get older, they're getting their own families, their career choice. I mean, we worry. I think that's the biggest overarching concern or downside of it's just worrying and learning how to place that. And then learning when it comes to the point, because you never stop. It just morphs and changes, but then learning to not let that control you, and then how you can also place it and then know where your place is in that. So,
Give us one thing about that has helped you place that concern and at times worry.
oh, okay. I think understanding that, I always say, God, these are your kids before they're mine. So yes, I am their natural mum, but at the end of the day, God doesn't have grandkids. So my kids are his sons and daughters. And so I just go, well, Father, if you're entrusting me to this is what can be done. So doing that, and I think just the conversations, you've been very good at helping me. I think having the right people in your world, the right voices who can just come alongside and say, oh, that's a bit of an overreaction, or that's a bit, no, you don't have to worry about that. Obviously, just your personal life, your devotional life, things like that. I did have a think, but I want to save it for another question I think you're going to ask me.
Fair enough.
So I'm
Fair
like,
enough. Fair enough. What I know about anything in life, it's never just the one thing.
Yeah.
I know for me, pastoring a church, for me being a dad or whatever it is, and we could go around the room, and whatever it is that you're involved in or doing, it's multifaceted, it's multi-layered, and it requires a level of balance. And so I look at what you do. You wear many hats. You're not just a mum. You're a senior leader and have been a senior leader alongside me for over 30 years in ministry. And that carries a weight. You've been married to me. You're an amazing mum. That carries a weight. But you've also been an amazing mum to our kids. And so how have you balanced marriage, ministry, and motherhood?
Good question. Well, we all know that balance can seem the elusive word. It can be the buzzword. And balance is hard. I mean, let's face it. If it was easy, we'd all have it all together. But I do think I'm a great believer in the law of first things first. And so when it comes to how do you find balance, it's a matter of priorities. And so what are the priorities? And I'm just going to say it right here, right now, that my marriage has always been my number one priority. And I've got 3 children, and 2 of them are sitting on the front row here. Jordan, 28, Mitchie's 26 in New Zealand, and Bailey here, 19. But my husband is my number one priority before my kids. And yet, if you ask my kids, and you can ask them in the cafe after, do whatever, they've never felt neglected. They've never felt left out. They've never felt overlooked. So they're part of that. But if you want to have the foundation right, because if it ain't working here, it won't work here. And it's the same. Especially when they were little, I used to watch, I'd call the kids, remember in science, litmus paper? And you'd put the litmus paper in the acid and it would change colour to show you. It was a telltale sign. Or we had a swimming pool, you check the acid levels. And kids are great litmus tests. And so when kids are playing up, our first reaction is to get stuck into them for what they're doing. But the first place I've learnt to look is here. Because they're just mirroring, or they're reacting to what's going on here. And what goes on here, obviously, because God first, but from that. And so my marriage has always been number one. I didn't say at the exclusion of, I said at the priority of. And one of my greatest pet peeves, I see a lot of over-mothered children and under-wived husbands. And men, that was your chance to go, yeah.
They would. They're just a little too. They're a little scared. They're a little scared. They agree. They're just too scared to agree out loud.
Yeah. No. Honestly, because you know what? I'm Tony's first responsibility. He's my first responsibility. And you hear the saying, happy wife, happy life. Happy spouse, happy house. So in other words, us working on us keeps happy house. And you see it everywhere. So before, our kids know that. I've seen too many women over, mothering their kids. Take it even in church. You can take it with senior pastors for over 30 years. There's a lot of families who feel like that they've lost their dad or their husband to the church. The church became the mistress. Again, wrong priority. And dad, so you might not be in ministry, but what about work? Whatever it is that you're putting first before. And our kids always knew that we came first. And that's the priority. And I think out of that healthiness is everything else flows. Because if this is healthy, then I can't have a healthy mother relationship. I can't have healthy girlfriend relationships. I can't have healthy church relationships if this isn't healthy. This is the foundation from which everything flows, and balance comes from that.
The Bible talks about us fighting not the devil so much as his schemes. And one of the greatest schemes of the enemy that has worked in breaking down families is him putting things and obstacles in the way of marriage. And for men, what often gets in the way, it's their job. That becomes the mistress. They may not have an affair with another woman, but will have an affair with their boss. They give all their time or their attention. They've devoted to. They're thinking about. They're planning. They're organising. And even when they're on a holiday or even when they're at the dinner table, their mind is not with where it should be. For the woman, it's usually the kids.
Yeah.
And both left unattended become unhealthy. Am I saying men shouldn't work? No, not at all. Am I saying that mum shouldn't look after the kids? No, not at all. I'm talking about what you prioritise. As Kath's
Yes.
already mentioned, it's first things first.
Yep.
So in our home, it goes God first, but my first responsibility, my first human that I'm responsible for is my wife. And the first human she's responsible for is me.
Yep.
Before the church, before work, before the kids, before anything. And that has been a game changer.
Yep.
And I know you're a mum, and you have the same mum pains that many mums in this room would when it comes to doing that and living that out. But I've loved watching the way you've been able to navigate that when there is the pain of seeing your kids who need more of this or more of that. Now again, none of this equals neglect of those other things, but it's just about putting first things first. Happy spouse, happy house.
And there's also seasons, again, not jumping out of that, but there are sometimes, that's the tenor of our marriage, but through conversation there could be a season where one of the kids or there's something going on that needs more, but that's also a conversation and an understanding, and it's, here's the start, here's the end, it's not ongoing. Makes sense? Just as a caveat in case.
Yeah, so having established the priorities, what are some
Yep.
of the non-negotiables for you in marriage and family?
Oh, awesome. Well, I know we're going to go into a series and we'll cover some of these, but I just thought of a couple. Well, I think for marriage, date night is a priority. Now, maybe you've heard the saying about the 777 rule. It's going through social media. It talks about once a week having time together, once every 7 weeks having time away, like a night away, and then a vacation every 7 months. And when I say that, I mean the two of you. I agree in family holidays, but times when it's the two of you. And it's varied over the years for us in how that looks, because I'm not saying, we've all now got to go and stay in expensive hotels or go to dinner every week. I know that there's a reality to that, and I know that, that things are tight, whatever, but date time, it's time to do face-to-face. It's time where we're not just shoulder to shoulder and we're working on things, but it's where we sit face-to-face with one another and talk and share dreams. And it could just be over coffee. It could be a coffee date, go out somewhere. It could be, the kids are little, we don't have babysitters, put them to bed, turn the candles on, light candles, have dinner. Just make it different than everyday routine, everyday looking, and it's intentional quality time where we don't have distraction and we can look at each other and say, okay. So it doesn't have to be this major thing, so don't come at me with, well, it's all right for you, I can't afford. We were young too and had young kids and things like that, but it's the priority, it's the principle of doing it and making that it's not on the go or on the fly, but it's intentional. We set aside time, no distraction, and have fun. Friday night, Bailey was out at youth, and I thought, I don't want to go out for dinner. It was cold, and we'd had a busy season, so I made dinner, but I lit candles, and I put a blanket on the floor, and we had dinner on the floor in our little apartment, just lights, music, shut the blinds, and it was fun. But we made date, just did it within the boundaries of what we can do. Don't give me that.
Elaborate on fun.
No.
I'm sure we all want to know what fun.
No. It was uninterrupted date night.
I love it. It's good. That's good. And again, the thing is that over the years that can look differently. What you don't want to use your present situation as a reason not to do it at all. I would say, while you may not be able to do it a certain way, you've got to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
And if you've got an extended family, and we used to do this, my brothers had kids, and so we'd say, okay, let's get all the kids to come to our place, we'll look after the kids tonight, and that's freed up 2 of my brothers to go on a date night with their wives. And then we just rotate, and it gives opportunities, so we're helping each other.
Yeah.
So there's always ways around that, which is awesome.
So that's just in marriage. Some family, you asked me family, not negotiables. One of the big things was what we would call our God words. We never used manners. We just that's just being a Christian. So God words. So please, sorry, thank you were non-negotiables with our kids in our interactions with us, with the interactions with one another, with interactions with other people. And I just want to speak on this one, and we'll probably pick it up in the coming weeks, but shyness is not an excuse. And I watch kids today, and I see if I speak to a child and I watch how if they just run or they don't answer or they do whatever. Now, I'm not saying shyness isn't real. I'm saying shyness is not an excuse. And so we had 3 children, all different, and one of them we had to work with, like their hello or look an adult in the eye or their please or thank you or acknowledgement would be different from the other 2, but it still had to exist. So I'm not saying people have to, no, you've got to, it's just the little things, they were just non-negotiables, because that, to me, is like I said about this is the priority, that's, you build from that. So when they're older in life and they're interacting at work and they're getting promotions, it's things like that set them up, because they've learnt how to do the basics. Their marriages thrive because they know how to own their mistakes. They know how to apologise. They know how to bring reconciliation. And we look at it and just go, oh, it's cute, kids, it doesn't matter. I'm saying start now, because it does matter. Win the battle now so you don't have to try and win it later on. So yeah, date nights. And the other one, date nights, God words. The other one, which you might not like me for, is church attendance. And I don't say that because we're senior pastors and we're church leaders. It's always been a priority, but church attendance is a not negotiable. If you're living in my house, under my roof, Sunday mornings at 10 a.m, you know where we are and you will be with us. 18, Sunday morning, under my house, you will be with it. It was not negotiable. And again, I'm trying to be kind because it's Mother's Day. But this is one of my favourite quotes. And like I said, 30 years in ministry, and being youth ministry even before senior ministry, and watching parents who were desperate for you to care for their kids and have them in youth. But when you look back at when they were younger and what they let them get away with, I think, now you come to me in crisis saying, I need my child in youth because I'm concerned about the friends they're choosing and the lifestyle that they're keeping and the drugs that they're taking. But way back when they were young, when you had an opportunity, and one of my favourite quotes, I've got lots of them, but it just says, parents who treat church as optional shouldn't be surprised when their children treat Jesus as unnecessary. Mum, Dad, your kids are watching. So if something comes up and you don't go to church, are you free? Absolutely. But maybe fall forward in several years and you say, why do my kids, I'm like, because way back there, you let them know that's not negotiable. When we let our kids know back there, that's not negotiable. So when the 2016, and many of you are here, heard the stories and the things that our family faced and walked through, it didn't rock their faith. It didn't rock their confidence, because they just understood this to be real. This wasn't something Mum and Dad did. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is my personal relationship, and this is what I get to walk out. And that's because they understood, no, Mum and Dad placed us in a position. It's your role as a mum and a dad to position your children for their future. I didn't say it'd be easy. I didn't say there won't be tears. You may have some struggles. But I'm saying with a 28-year-old, a 26-year-old and an almost 20-year-old, it's worth it when you see the fruit of what God can do because you stood your ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you getting something out of this? Yeah. All right. Sound good? This may come as a surprise to some of you who know me and see me up here on stage doing what I do week after week after week. But I used to be the shyest kid on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, like, embarrassingly, awkwardly shy. I mean, painfully shy. Are there any shy kids out there? Any shy people out there by nature? I know BJ's a shy kid by nature. But one thing I'm so grateful for my dad in particular, is that he recognized that and didn't excuse it, but just spent time with me in a different manner, in a different way, and a different approach with me than he did with my 2 other brothers who didn't need that attention. Because he refused to allow my personality to rob me of my future.
Yeah.
And I want to say to you, don't allow your personality to rob you of your future. Yes, we are different by personality. Yes, we are born different, but it doesn't mean that we can't be people who embrace something. It's just that we've got to work a little bit harder on certain areas.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes a value, is that all of our kids are going to do these things, whether it comes easy or not. And so for BJ, please, sorry, thank you, came easy because of her nature.
Yeah.
She didn't have to be nurtured into please, sorry, thank you. Because it was her nature. She's just a please, sorry, thank you girl. She came out of the womb saying, oh, I'm sorry, I hope they didn't hurt, Mum. She's that girl. Jordan, our strongest, oldest one, we had to nurture her into those 3 words. Because her mentality was, why would I need to say sorry? I'm always right.
She is her father's daughter.
And so we had to nurture her in an area that we didn't have to nurture someone else because nature took care of that.
Yeah.
But on other areas, what was nature for Jordan had to be nurtured in Bailey. But all of them embraced all of our values in spite of the fact that they're all, to this very day, still completely different people with different personalities. Make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. Quickly, how important is culture? What is it and how do you get it?
Culture is king. So I love what you say. You say that our values are what we believe, our culture is how we behave. And the battle in the home is getting how we behave to match up with what we believe. And so that, we'll cover a lot of that sort of stuff. But you get culture by, firstly, you've got to communicate it. Like, let people know this is us. I mean, we have a saying, this is us, right? Like, we're rainbows, this is what we do. If you're a rainbow, it's this, and this. So culture has to be defined. But then what you have to do is you've got to celebrate what you want repeated. And then, speak into, change, challenge what you don't. So when you see your kids doing the things that you go, this is us, it's like, awesome, I saw when you did that. Hey, I saw that Fran came up to you and spoke to you, and I know how hard it is. And you didn't have to have a full-on conversation, but you looked at Fran in the eye, you acknowledged that she said something to you, you were polite, and then you moved on. Celebrating. If I saw that Fran tried to do something, you dropped your head and you ran, then we're going to have a conversation because we're not going to tolerate that. We're going to say, okay, this is how it does. So celebrate whatever it is. If they do the things, or anyone if you're leading teams, you're at work, whatever it is, somebody, this is what we believe they do that, then tell them. It's amazing. I saw that. I'm so glad. And when they don't, it's okay, let's sit down, let's have a conversation. What is going on? Because we don't do that here. In this house, this is what we do. We don't do that. So celebrate what you want repeated, address what you don't. And consistency is the big thing. If you want to address culture and get it in there, you just got to keep going. I have mums say to me, how many times do I have to? I say, keep saying, keep doing it, keep doing it. One more time used to be our motto. One more time, like one more time, one more. So consistency. If they can get away with it today, they'll continue on with it. So it's like you cannot let them get away with it. Consistency is key.
So good. We are fast running out of time.
Sorry.
I trust that we're not only getting out something out of this if we're mums in the place, but also for the dads here, for the younger ones. Hopefully we'll help you understand why mum and dad are like they are, or actually give you some insight as to what your future's going to look like. And the best place to learn it is now, when there's not the pressure, when there's not the hassle, when there's not the demand, but to have something to aim for. So I hope you're getting something out of this. Very quickly, did your approach to motherhood change as the kids got older? And if so, how?
Yeah. And again, I think we'll talk into this, but I love what you do. You talk about the fact that the parenting styles, we have the 3, which is the commander, the coach, and the consultant. And so the commander is from birth to probably about 10, you just got to tell your kids what to do. That's my role. I'm setting the boundaries and I'm holding them to you. I am telling you it's bedtime. I am telling you what you're having for dinner. I am telling you, now, again, there is dinner, we can have discussions, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Tell them what to do. This is not up for discussion. This is not up for debate. This is what we do. Then coach is from the 11 to 18 teenagers. They're starting to find their own identity and who they are. That becomes more of that coaching them, and that's where you can have the conversations. So you want to pull your brothers. No, that's not a good example because you would say, no, don't do that. But a conversation where, hey, tell me, what do you think that's wise, and why do you think that's wise, and what could you think could be a better way? So we're coaching them through that. That's that 11 to 18. And then once they're 18, it's that consultant where they then ask you, hey, Mum, I had this thing, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? Then you can speak. And that's one of the hardest things, especially for mums, because we're so used to being the coach and helping them through and being, you know, the commander, that not now overstepping and trying to tell them. It's like, no, they're 18. If they're not asking, you can't say. Now, you know, if they're doing something very, very dangerous, and you don't just go, well, you're not asking me, but in wisdom, it's like, actually, I wouldn't do it like that, but you're not asking me, and this isn't going to kill you or someone else, so you just might have to wear the consequences of it. So.
And with each stage, there's going to be a stage that you find really easy.
Yeah.
Comes really naturally. And what we'll tend to do is hang in that one, because that's one we like. Yeah. That's one we're comfortable with. But you've got to be able to morph and change and reinvent yourself as a mother and as a father when it comes to this stuff.
And it changes not just age, seasons, you know, personalities, even boys and girls. I know we try to bring it all into the one, but they are different, and they are different.
Last question?
Yeah.
What role
has
the local church played in raising our kids?
Massive, massive, massive role. I don't know where we would be without the local church. Because you know what? Someone once said that what God has for you is often found in others. And you can't be all things to all people. And so that's why the scripture says that God places the lonely in families. It's not just He places us in family. There's something about the family of God that when we do life together, people can come alongside. So in terms of our family spiritually, I mean, we teach devotions with our kids, we pray with our kids, but for them to come and have their own expression, to be in the local house and to see others doing that. It's not just mum and dad, it's like this is what we do. And for them to have a space where they could go to people, their youth leaders or their kids ministry teachers, friends, peers, and nut out their own personal relationship with Jesus. Well, like I said to you, when 2016 hit, it didn't wipe our family out or didn't wipe our kids out, because they each had an understanding of who Jesus was for them in their understanding and at their age level. So spiritually, I mean, practically, I mean, church is a great place for babysitters. I'm like, seriously, I often say to people, when people say I can't get a babysitter, it tells me something about their commitment to the local church. Because I said, if you're invested in a local church, you've got friends, you've got avenue, you're giving and serving, so people would love to give and serve to you. And if you feel you haven't got that, I feel it's a litmus test of what you're not actually doing. It's taught them skills. I mean, you know, serving, cafe, both our girls that worked in hospitality, just Mitchie too worked in the local cinema, all because of in the church, learning to serve, being on teams, working with one another. It's all their employers, they've all been headhunted for jobs, everybody after them because of skills they learned through serving in the local house. They've all met their partners, so in the local house, things like that. And I think even emotionally, the church has been an amazing opportunity, because it's taught them how to deal with people. Because you know what, we're all going to get a job, we've all got to, and how you can't just, I mean, in work, I suppose, if someone offends you, if you really want, you could just leave and then go get another job, which is what people do, which is sad. But in church, you have to learn how to, that offended me. What's going on? How do I deal with people? How do I negotiate? How do we get over differences? I mean, the church is the breeding ground that will set you up for life out there. And then like I said, when employers are looking for people and they're wanting to promote people, what you learn here, being based here, sets you, if you learn it too, if you apply it, but it sets you apart in the world, because people are just like, this person is just unique and different. And most of that, all of that, has been learned in the confines of church family.
Great. Can we show appreciation for the wisdom received this morning